Thank you very much for offering me an opportunity to address the participants at your second international conference of multidisciplinary approaches on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. It's my honor to speak with you on behalf of my faculty and administrative staff colleagues at Naropa University here in Boulder, Colorado in the United States. I'm very sorry that my schedule didn't allow me to join you in person, but appreciate the chance to meet with you even by this video. I also want to especially thank the Nakhon, Pathom, Rajabhat University, as well as our friends and colleagues at the Chulalongkorn University and World Buddhist Universities in Bangkok for their interest for over many years in Naropa University and especially in our approach to integrating contemplative practices along with Western liberal arts education. Naropa University is now in our 44th year, and we were founded by the Tibetan Buddhist scholar and practitioner, the Venerable Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche, who was also my personal Buddhist teacher. Trungpa Rinpoche's teachings in North America and Europe from 1970, when he first arrived, until his death in 1987, are widely considered to be the most significant cause of the dramatic increase in the study and in the practice of Buddhism by those who were not raised in Buddhist households. So Western Buddhist practitioners who became contemplative practitioners, meditation practitioners, and Buddhist scholars had much gratitude to offer to Trungpa Rinpoche for his pioneering work. Naropa is not a monastic institution. We serve students who practice many different spiritual traditions or actually no tradition at all. All of our work, however, is grounded in Buddhism. It's offered in a non-sectarian environment, however. Our statement of purpose to our students is to transform yourself and transform the world. And please let me briefly describe what we mean by that statement. I'm sure that we're all very aware of the dramatic increase in the embrace of mindfulness practices in such diverse sectors as elementary and high school and university level education, in public service fields such as police and fire, emergency rescue, and the military, in civic engagements such as local and national governments, and in business and industry. I think, however, that we need to be careful that mindfulness practices remain grounded in their historical and spiritual context, so they're not seen as just self-help techniques, creating more efficient employees or more compliant students. The Buddha exhorted the early Sangha to question, to explore their own minds deeply, and to apply strong analysis rather than to accept what they are told without applying their personal experience. In the field of mindfulness training, especially as it's being presented in the West, teachers are generally free to present their teachings in whatever way and using whatever means they choose. There are no standards, there are no controls over what is presented. And to some extent, I think that the freedom afforded to mindfulness instructors allows for creativity and experimentation, especially now that this field is emerging. It's still fairly new. However, along with such freedom comes the responsibility to not only teach what one knows and but also what one has experienced. Inside of an institution like Naropa University, we have the confidence that our faculty are representative of being responsible instructors. They're carefully assessed before hiring, and we have the benefit of working with more senior faculty and with peers who offer support and critical input. The same, however, does not hold true for the thousands of individuals who may call themselves mindfulness teachers and who just with a website and some marketing can collect students and institutional clients only too anxious to get involved in this new mindfulness explosion. That is something that I think we have to pay close attention to. To the extent that mindfulness practices offer tools for the individual practitioner to gain insight into themselves and into their society, to improve skills such as critical reasoning, I believe Buddhist practitioners can support and embrace such training. To me, that's in keeping with Shakyamuni Buddha's core teaching of the Four Noble Truths in the Eightfold Path. Such teachings need not be limited, however, to the body of monastics, but also hold relevance to the lay community. They are not historical artifacts, something from 2,500 years ago that's not relevant today, but are indeed powerful teachings that are relevant to a 21st century world. They form the basis of the first part of Naropa's statement of value, transform yourself. And we're very proud that the students that come through Naropa invest so much of their own personal energy and commitment to learning who they are as human beings. And they working with our faculty and working with their own meditation practices, really go deeply into that exploration. But at Naropa, we also put much attention to the skillful means by which our students and our graduates may bring their deepest personal understanding and realization to a world that is in dire need of compassionate action and healing. We train and educate our students to be compassionate individuals using such techniques as loving kindness meditation practices and learning ways to be of service to those in need of care and support. While Naropa is open about our close ties to Buddhism, we also support the view that a student who is deeply trained in academic disciplines that are built upon a foundation of contemplative education may validly express themselves in the world without the need to declare themselves as a Buddhist practitioner. Now, in a country like Thailand, where the Buddhist religious heritage defines a society in so many ways, this concept may be less important. But in many places in the world, adopting Buddhist wisdom while adapting it to different cultural structures will allow for a much expanded influence of our 2,500-year-old tradition, influence in areas of human activity that have traditionally been seen as secular. So with this work of training students not to just look deeply into their own minds and hearts, but also to learn the skillful actions required to be of service to the world, we then look at what transform the world means in Naropa's statement of values. And this transforming the world is not something which is only unique to Naropa University. It is an aspiration, I think, that many, many institutions of higher education have increasingly as part of their core mission. For example, at Virginia Tech University, Virginia Tech is one of the preeminent engineering universities in the world, students can now engage in mindfulness practices as they are seen as helpful in training future engineers. This work is not very old. It was launched in 2013, coming out of a conference in Virginia where I was honored to be invited to speak. Virginia Tech now regularly encourages mindfulness and contemplative practices, and to use their own words from an engineering school, they say, in our fast-paced society, it can be difficult to focus on the present and enjoy life, but practicing mindfulness can help. Mindfulness is paying attention on purpose, non-judgmentally, with curiosity and acceptance to the present moment. Research studies on mindfulness practice have been shown to help reduce stress and anxiety, increase resiliency, and importantly, increase wisdom and authenticity. Now, to any student of Buddhism, this statement from Virginia Tech will seem very familiar. And yet, to a graduate of an engineering school like Virginia Tech, a deeper personal understanding of wisdom and authenticity may lead them to work on engineering solutions to climate change, to the creation of housing able to withstand natural disasters, to improving land cultivation and sustainable farming, and so on. So graduates from what would otherwise have been seen as a very secular technical institution now actually have the tools to be of great service to the world. Those mindful engineers might not call themselves Buddhist, but they carry the Buddhist teachings deeply in their heart. While Naropa University doesn't train engineers, we do educate psychologists, school teachers, writers, poets, performers, chaplains, environmental activists, and many others, as well as Buddhist, Hindu, Christian, Jewish, and Muslim scholars. They too may or may not self-identify as Buddhists, but if they leave Naropa fully aware of who they are as human beings and are motivated to be of service to the world, we believe they carry the heart of the Buddha regardless of any label. So I'm very honored to have had this brief opportunity to greet you, to offer some comments about contemplative education as it is taught at Naropa University, and please accept my heartfelt wishes for a very successful gathering in Bangkok and all warm wishes from your friends at Naropa University. Thank you very much.